There. Today we're going to be solving a system of equations um, in word problems. So you can use any of the three methods that we've learned so far, the graphing, substitution, or elimination, to solve these depending on what your equations look like. Is probably what you're going to choose for which method you use. All right. We have already done a little bit of this solving equations with word problems, but I haven't really talked about the steps that I would like to see. One step is to define your variables. Our next step is to write our two equations. Your next step is to choose your method for solving. So you want to, get your equations to the point where you can solve. And then, of course, solve. And then finally, step 5, I want you to write your solution. I've talked a little bit about that, but I want you to write a complete sentence for your solution. I'll be looking for those. Number 1, a sporting goods store receives a shipment of 124 golf bags. So altogether, they got 124 golf bags. The shipment includes 2 types of bags, full size and collapsible. So we have full size and collapsible bags. The full size bags cost $38.50 each, and the collapsible bags cost $22.50 each. The bill for the shipment is $3,430. The question is, how many of each type of bag are in the shipment? I want you to use that question to help you to define your variables. Well, we're talking about how many of each type of bag. So I'm going to let x equal the number, because we are looking for how many, and one type of bag is the full size bag. Full size bag. So I'm looking for the number of full size bags. And I'm going to let y equal the number of collapsible bags. Now you could use like f for your variable and c for your variable so that you can remember the two different numbers or what they represent. Totally up to you. Step 2, I'm going to write 2 equations. Okay, so one equation is going to have a total of 124 bags. What I want you to do is always look for a total. If they give you a total, that's going to be one of your equations. So here we're talking about the number of bags. So we defined x as the number of full size and y as the number of collapsible. So we can say x plus y equals 124 bags, our total number of bags. Our next equation, we have another total. We have this $3,430, and that's going to be our cost, our total cost for both bags. We know that it's $38.50 for each full-size bag, so I'm going to say $38.50 times the number of bags, full-size bags. I'm going to add $22.50 times the number of collapsible bags. It's going to give me a total of $3,430. So notice one equation is just the number of bags. The other equation has to do with all money. So I have coefficients for that one. Choose your method for solving. I'm going to solve using the substitution method. And I'm solving using the substitution method because I notice at my first equation, I'm able to solve for one of those variables very easily to get one of those variables by itself. All right, so over here, I'm going to solve first one of my equations for a variable. So I'm going to solve for y here. So I'm going to subtract x. I'm going to get y equals negative x plus 124. So now I can take and substitute this negative x plus 124 in my second equation where y is. So I have 38.50x plus $22.50 times whatever y is. And I know that y is negative x plus 124. And that's going to equal my total $3,430. All right, so now I can solve this equation for x to find the number of full-size bags. So let's see, I have to distribute. I'm just bringing this $38.50 x down. I'm going to distribute this 2250 times negative x, so I get a negative 2250x. I'm going to multiply 2250 times 124, and I get 2,790, and that equals 3,430. I have like terms, $38.50 x minus $22.50 x gives me 16x plus 2790 equals 3430. Oops. Now I'm going to solve my two-step equation. So it looks like I'm going to have 40 full-size bags. Over here, I'm going to substitute that 40 into my first equation, where x is, so that I can find out what y is. Y is 84. So for my final step, step 5, the shipment, I usually look back up here at my question, how many of each type of bag are in the shipment? And I restate my question with my answers in it. The shipment had 40 full-size bags in 84 collapsible bags. Period. All right. Let's look at example 2. Example 2, the beach resort is offering 2 weekend specials. One includes a 2-night stay and 3 meals. A 2-night stay and 3 meals at a cost of $195. The other includes a 3-night stay, 5 meals, and it costs $300. Find the cost of a 1-night stay and the cost per meal. So here's our question. That's what we're looking for. So we can use that to define our variables. So I'm going to say let x equal, I'm looking for the cost of a 1-night stay. So we'll say cost of 1 night and I'm going to let y. I'm also looking for the cost of a meal, so cost of one meal. So I have my two variables. I'm going to next write my equations. So 2 nights stay and 3 meals at a cost of $195. So I know that X is the cost of 1 night. So if I have 2 nights, that's going to be 2X. I'm going to have 3 meals. I know Y is the cost of 1 meal, so I'm going to add 3Y to get a total of $195. There's one of my equations. The other includes a 3-night stay, so 3 times the cost of 1 night, plus 5 meals, 5 times the cost of 1 meal, equals $300. So now I have my system of equations. It looks like I need to adjust one of them, or both of them actually, so that I can get opposite signs and get rid of one of my variables. So I'm going to use the elimination method because I have all of these coefficients going on. So let me change my color here, do blue. And I'm going to show that I'm going to multiply this. I'm going to get rid of my x variable. So I'm going to multiply this by 3, and I'm going to multiply this by -2. I'm multiplying by negative so that these become opposites. All right, so now I have, let me write it over here. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 3y is 9y. And 3 times 195 gives me 585. My next equation, -2 times 3x is -6x. -2 times 5y is -10y. And -2 times 300 is -600. Now I can take those equations and add them together. 6x plus a -6x gives me 0. 9y minus 10y gives me -y. 585 minus 600 gives me -15. I can't have a -y, so I'm going to divide by -1, and I get y equals 15. So back up to my top, y is the cost of one meal. So this $15 is the cost of one meal. So now I need to substitute that in to any of my equations. I'm going to substitute it into my second one, where y is. I get 3x plus 15 times 5 is 75, equals 300. Two-step equation. Three x equals 225. If I divide by 3, I get x equals 75. I'm not going to circle that yet because really I should write my sentence. And I've run out of room, but you should have some space on your paper to write your sentence. So we would say, I'm going to go back up to my find the cost of a 1-night stay and the cost per meal. So we could say the cost of 1 night is $75. That was our 75. That was our X. And cost per meal is $5. All right, let's look at our next one here. Oh, I like number 3. Number 3, the Smiths are cleaning out their basement. They realize that they have so much trash that they need to rent a dumpster. Dumpsters Incorporated rents a dumpster for $100. So Dumpsters Inc. rents a dumpster for $100 plus $15 per hour. Garbage R Us only charges $50, but they charge a $25 per hour. After how many hours will the cost be the same? After how many hours will the cost be the same? And what is the cost? All right, so here we go. We know that we want to know when will dumpsters be equal to garbage for us. Okay, well, let's first define our variables. So we're going to say, I'm going to let x equal, and I want to look down here. I notice it says $15 per hour. So I'm going to let x equal the number of hours. And I'm going to let y equal the total cost, because we're talking about total cost in number of hours. If we look at our question, how many hours and what is the total cost? All right, so now for dumpsters, I can write an equation. The total cost for the dumpsters is going to be $15 for every hour plus $100 fee. The garbage R Us is y equals $25 per hour plus $50 fee, like a one-time fee. Notice I have y equals and y equals. So I can set what dumpsters is going to charge equal to what garbage is going to charge and solve that equation. So I can say 15x plus 100 equals 25x plus 50. And I can solve these two equations. Solve this one equation. And that's 100. So let's cancel. That's 10x plus 50. Running out of room. If I subtract 50, I get 50x equals 10x. Oops, that's 50. Okay. 50 equals 10x, divide by 10, and get x equals 5. So x is the number of hours. So at 5 hours, they will be equal. Now I need to find what is that cost. When after 5 hours they will be equal, but how much is that going to be? So now I can substitute 5 into either equation. And I get $175. So I could write my sentence, after 5 hours, the two companies will cost $175. I just don't have enough room right now. So again, after 5 hours, the two companies will cost $175. Notice there's a little extra question down here. If you plan to take 2 days, which company should you choose? So if you were going to take 2 days with this dumpster, which company should you choose? So if it's 2 days and we're talking about the number of hours, we would use 48. 48. So 48 for x. And you could substitute into either of these two equations. But I want you to notice if we were to multiply 25 times 48 in this equation right here, that's going to be a big amount. And I don't think this 50, even though it's $50 less, is going to make any difference in making Garbage R Us any cheaper than Dumpsters. So because they have Dumpsters Incorporated has a smaller per hour amount, I would say Dumpsters Incorporated is going to be your best bet if you're going to take 2 days. All right, I would like for you to go ahead and try number 4 and number 5. Oh, number 5 is a little tricky, but let's see how you do. And I will post your answers. I will post the answers on Canvas. I don't want this video to get any longer, so I will post the answers on Canvas, and you can check your answers and ask any questions that you may have. Make sure you write them down so that you don't forget them, and bring those to class or send me a message. Thank you.